Yo, it's cracking, everyone. How's it going? Happy Friday. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope everyone is having a great day. Hope everyone has had a great week. Okay, that's a lie. I don't really care all that much. Just kidding. Yeah, I do. It's Valentine's Day. Be happy. Share with the ones you love. Give me 1 second. I'm doing the whole thing, posting to Instagram and letting people know I'm live. Just give me one second. But yeah, guys, it's Valentine's Day. Hoopity hoo ha, yeehaw, yeehaw, whoopty doo dah day. Happy Valentine's Day to the world and my chat, and to all my friends and family who support and celebrate that shit. I don't, because, well, frankly, I'm single and miserable and lame. So there's that. Clearly, I'm kidding. The self-deprecation there is intentionally sarcastic. If you celebrate Valentine's Day, if you're celebrating with the one you love, fucking good for you. More power to you. Anyway, how's it going, chat? Who's in the chat today? Donovan, I see you there. It seems a couple people in here are talking about a certain rat we like to kind of make fun of on this show. Let's see. Don't know if you know or even care. Certain Jeff was pushing a BS story about a director being in talks for the Clayface film, but it came out via THR. The report is bullshit. We will talk about that, Donovan. Don't you worry. It's good to see you again, man. Hello, I'm actually here while it's live. Dalton, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. Mom, what? Phil, hope you're well. My birthday was, yesterday, today? Happy belated birthday. Good to see you, man. The rat, aka Jeff Snyder, can shut the fuck up. He is not a journalist, and his profile picture is from when he was like 20-something. He's not man enough to show a recent profile picture. No, but apparently he's man enough to show a picture of himself like half topless on Instagram or Threads, or no, not even either of those. Twitter, begging for a girl to take him on a date, which, if you ask me, that's pretty pathetic. It's like, Tinder's right there, my guy. Just fucking utilize it, or at least learn how to in your old age. Hope you know. Birthday was on Monday, officially 40, seeing Captain America Brave New World Order tomorrow. Okay, Mom, what? Happy belated birthday, man. I hope you enjoy it. I have seen it. We're probably going to have a spoiler-filled discussion about that film in the latter half of the show, so I will make that known before we start talking about it. That way, if you want to bounce out and not, hear or see any spoilers, that gives you ample reason to make way, and then whenever you're ready to come back and catch the rest of it, you can. Just Malcolm, what's happening? How's it going? I enjoyed Brave New World. There it is. I enjoyed Brave New World very much. I did too. We will talk about it for sure. Dalton Bell says happy to be here. Well, we're happy to have you here, Dalton. It's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Okay. Before we get into the cool shit that a lot of people come here to normally talk about, there's something I want to give a shout out to my buddy Lance that he showed me this morning. And it made me feel a certain way. It made me feel very childish, inner child kind of way, in a very happy way. Before, I didn't ever think that Super Saiyan 4 would ever be canon. And Akira Toriyama passed away in March of last year, and we knew that Dragon Ball Daima was the last thing he had worked on. And as of the 18th episode, Goku has turned Super Saiyan 4. And the mechanics surrounding it are a bit different. That's fine. But my God, this is canon, and it's fucking beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love this shit. I am just ecstatic and over the moon that Goku has finally turned Super Saiyan 4 canonically from Akira Toriyama. This is, like, when I saw this, I was like, oh fuck. Like, I audibly screamed, oh fuck, in my car when I was on my first break this morning at work, because I was just like in complete shock and awe at this magnificent masterpiece before me. This is just so cool. Like, I love Super Saiyan 4 a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Ultra Instinct. I like Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Red, whatever the fuck they're called. Super Saiyan God, whatever the hell it is. Like, that's all gravy, but you can't beat the aesthetic of a Super Saiyan 4. I'm sorry. Like, there's just something so sinisterly beautiful about giant spiky hair, the tail, the furry upper midsection, and then the boots and the pants and the lower set. Like this is just the ultimate look for me when it comes to Dragon Ball. So my inner child was super stoked to see this because I love Dragon Ball GT a lot, even though it's not canon. Like no joke, I really do love GT a whole bunch, and doing this was just a fucking beautiful way of making some of that canon. No joke. It's absolutely incredible. I'm gonna say this: if this movie is a hit and passable to succeed, Superman will be just fine. Sounds like everyone's pretty eager to talk about Captain America. Don't worry, guys. We will get there. Invincible Season 3 is really good, and the final episode of Cobra Kai was beautiful. I agree. The final episodes of Cobra Kai were indeed beautiful. I have nothing to add about Invincible. Got the Sinners trailer in front of Captain America Brave New World. I'm just wondering why was that in front of a PG-13 movie? I would have to imagine it had something to do with the fact that Ryan Coogler has good rapport with Marvel Studios. Even then, I got it in front of Captain America as well. I got Sinners, I got The Accountant 2, I got Ballerina, I got The Amateur, I got Karate Kid Legends, and then I also got Thunderbolts. I was kind of disappointed I didn't get Fantastic Four in front of Captain America. I know a lot of other people did, but I didn't. So that's cool. Goku has the same origin as Superman. Akira Toriyama has actually equated Goku to being the Superman of that world and that which he created. Superman is indirectly inspired by Goku. Sorry, Goku is indirectly inspired by Superman. Superman, in a way, paved the way for Goku to exist in a certain respect. Like, essentially, Goku is to DBZ what Superman is to superheroes and DC Comics more specifically. And by that token, I guess you could argue that Vegeta's probably like Batman or something. I don't know. But anyway, it was obviously a PG-13 version of the trailer. Yeah, I think Sinners is supposed to be rated R. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. Anyway, speaking of trailers, there were a lot of trailers at the Super Bowl. Surprisingly enough, there was one for Lilo and Stitch. I think there was one for Mission Impossible. There was also one for I think they showed off they showed off Thunderbolts. That's where they showed off like a big trailer for Thunderbolts, which is kind of surprising. I didn't think they would, but they did. They also showed another trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth. Although I don't know if I'd even call it another trailer because that minute-long Super Bowl spot is literally just reused footage from the 2.5-minute trailer that they dropped earlier in the week. So it's like, what was the fucking point of that? Why? Like, why? Why didn't you just do a 30-second spot and then go watch the full trailer online? Like, why waste money to repurpose and cut and basically use a shorter version of the trailer you already have just to show it in front of the Super Bowl? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me at all. Like, we're just going to reuse the same footage, spend an equally large amount of money to just have it in front of the Super Bowl? What the fuck, Universal? Like, why? I don't see the logic here. This is just kind of strange to me. So, I don't know. Like, when I saw that there was a full-on spot for Jurassic World Rebirth, and it's literally just a minute of footage from the trailer, I was like, why? This doesn't make any sense. You could have just saved yourself some trouble, shaved off 30 seconds, and then said, go see the full trailer now. You didn't need to do a whole dedicated spot to that movie in a minute. The trailer, I think about that shit and I'm just like, why? This is fucking pointless. This is stupid. Really stupid. Really, really stupid. But I will give it to Marvel, though. They full on showed a full fucking trailer for Thunderbolts. And I'll just say this. Look, I bet people are wondering why I didn't react to that trailer. Well, to be frank, I had just walked out of, Companion a couple days earlier. I wasn't really feeling well. There were a ton of other trailers releasing in due time, and I just wanted to relax on that Sunday. Like, I even had the game on, because a buddy of mine was in our Discord and he was just streaming it. I was like, okay, fine, yeah, I'll have it up as a fucking secondary screen. That's cool, whatever, right? So then I like when I had heard that the Thunderbolts trailer dropped online, I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch it. And then I watched it, and I was like, wow, that was actually really fucking good. That was really fucking good. Like, you actually got a really solid spot of Sentry. You got like some of the Void. You got fucking Val, like, officially saying, like, oh, you know, the Avengers are not coming to save the planet. It's like, yeah, no shit, because there isn't an Avengers team even assembled. Oh, my package is arriving soon. I might have to step away and grab that package here soon, fellas. Just FYI. Matter of fact, that might be why my dogs are barking. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, no, the Thunderbolts trailer was fucking dope as shit. Gave you more insight into all these characters, and I think the funniest line was like Bucky going, "Looking good, John!" And John Walker, and like seeing John Walker's shield just like bent. I was like, oh, I guess we're doing that. Okay. If you want to establish how strong Sentry is, I mean, bending a vibranium shield, because let's face facts, he probably got a new shield from Val, and it's probably made of vibranium. Just a guess. If not, why even bother using a shield, right? Anyway, no, it was cool. It was a cool trailer. It was nice to see them kind of skirt around using Sentry and like, you know, show don't tell. Really, that was really interesting. I like that a lot of people are under the assumption that Taskmaster is going to die in this movie, and I'm like, well, maybe. I'm not going to make that assumption yet because, frankly, I haven't seen the movie. Just because she's not a lot of marketing doesn't mean she's not present. Doesn't mean she's not doing something else. Doesn't mean she's not alive. I don't know. I'm not ready to make that assumption that she's just going to be off in like the first 5-10 minutes of the movie. So Dalton says, Thunderbolts trailer made me go, oh shit, are they really? Yes, they are. Fuck me. Yep. Yeah, I gotta admit, when I saw the footage at Comic-Con for Thunderbolts, like I was really impressed. I was really blown away. Like, no joke. Like, they showed a pretty hefty, sizable amount of footage from Thunderbolts and Captain America, and they let us know that like this movie ain't fucking around. Like, they're not pulling punches. It's very practical in a lot of ways. Like, a lot of the action and stunt work is very, very practical. There's a lot of practical sets utilized. Honestly, I think this just outside of Sentry, like, you have a lot of heroes here who are just superbly grounded in reality in a lot of ways. Like, you know, Florence Pugh's kind of dealing with like a bit of a existential crisis. I think honestly, they're all kind of like dealing with existential crisis to some extent. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that team comes together and how the fuck they're going to fight Sentry. That's going to be fucking something else. Maybe his shield is made out of adamantium, depending on when this movie takes place. I'm going to guess that this movie for sure probably takes place after Captain America. I would be a betting man that this movie takes place 100% after the events of Captain America Brave New World. And I'll get to that when we talk about Captain America Brave New World. But yeah, there was like also the whole Superman thing at the Super Bowl. Like, everyone thought, oh, we're going to get a crypto thing. We're going to get like a little sneak peek of crypto. We're going to get this. We're going to get that. What was it? Absolutely fucking nothing. When they announced that they were doing something for the Puppy Bowl, I was like, it's not going to be anything substantial. I didn't think of it at all. We're just coming off of a trailer released in the middle of December. That second trailer probably isn't going to come until like, you know, April, give or take. But hey, you know, it's whatever. If y'all want to get hyped over Guy Gardner just looking goofy, more power to you. I thought that was kind of a waste of time, but hey, whatever works, right? Yeah, I saw the whole Guy Gardner thing, like I said, the only bull we need or whatever, and I was like, okay. Kind of clever, I suppose. But you just kind of had Nathan Fillion standing there looking like a doofus. No big deal. Nothing wrong with that, I suppose. So, yeah, it was fun, to say the least. In a way, if you like that kind of shit, definitely. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. Like I mean, I was just like, yeah, whatever. It's no big deal. It's just a fucking bit for Guy Gardner. I'm really sorry. My dogs are going ape shit, and I am gonna have to go like discipline them really fast. I will be right back. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they were barking at. There was maybe a fucking squirrel or a fucking cat out there. Not really sure. Maybe it was another dog. Anyway, back to the puppy bowl. Yeah, they had Guy Gardner out there looking like a doof. He was just kind of. I swear to God, they just don't want to listen. They don't ever want to listen. I can't have nice things. I can never have nice things. I can't have nice things because my dogs like to bark, and they like to bark at every little fucking thing. Oh my God, this is so frustrating. Probably as frustrating as some people feeling like they were going to get something for Superman at the Super Bowl. Well, tough shit, everybody. Ain't nothing happened there. Yes, Dave, the damn dogs. I watched your reaction to Captain America. I thought that was you and I are going to have a conversation. Definitely. I feel similarly with you about the score. Definitely. Saw some people say the Guy Gardner thing was cringe, and I'm just like, that's the point of Guy Gardner. It is the point of Guy Gardner. He's a cringy doofus with a god-awful bowl cut. That is part of his character. He has the goofiest looking fucking bowl cut in all of comics. It looks terrible. It's intentionally supposed to be terrible. And, well, hey, I've seen even people be like, it's not even a real redhead. Have you all ever heard of what a strawberry blonde is? Another word for redhead. Just saying. Dated a strawberry blonde once. Don't recommend that. Do not recommend that. Anyway, speaking of trailers and reactions to trailers, there was someone out there who was in a Fantastic Four movie once upon a time who also recently saw a trailer for the new Fantastic Four movie. That's right, folks. Miles Teller on the new Fantastic Four trailer. This was interesting. Interesting to see. This right here. I like this because he's giving props, but he's also very cautionary in a certain respect. So, this is what Miles Teller had to say about the Fantastic Four trailer. Miles Teller wishes Fantastic Four first steps all the best after his 2015 bomb. Teller, who is currently appearing alongside Anya Taylor-Joy in Apple TV Plus's The Gorge. I've been told I need to watch this, apparently, because it's really good. But, yeah. Starred in the last Fantastic Four, which came up short at the box office. Well, coming up short's a certain way of putting it. Damn. Let's see. With a new FF movie coming this summer, Miles Teller, who starred in the 2015 iteration of the Super franchise, is weighing in on the latest adaptation. He played Reed Richards alongside Michael B. Jordan, Kate Mara, and Jamie Bell. In the upcoming Fantastic Four First Steps, the role is played by Pedro Pascal, with the cast rounded out by Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and of course, Ebon Moss-Backrack. Quote, I've known Pedro for a couple years. Man, I'm wishing them all the best, Teller told THR on Wednesday at the LA premiere of his new film, The Gorge. Quote, I don't wish anybody to be a part of a bomb. It's just a marker on your career that for some people takes longer to get over than others. I just wish them the best. I saw the little trailer and I thought it looked fantastic. I'm very excited for them. 2015's Fantastic Four lost 20th Century Fox millions at the box office. Planned sequel was scrapped as a result. Disney now controlling the Marvel first family property. As the team is known, is being revived as part of the MCU. WandaVision's Matt Shakman directing. Teller, meanwhile, is starring in The Gorge, appearing alongside Anya Taylor-Joy as two highly trained operatives who become close after being sent to protect opposite sides of a mysterious gorge. I just thought it was a really original project. I liked everybody involved. Scott Derrick said a big fan of his work. Anya is like such a stud. She's so cool. I love watching her. She really can do anything. Teller said of his interest in the film, he and Taylor-Joy have been friends for years, which he said helped their on-camera romantic work. Huh. More comfortable you feel with somebody before the cameras start rolling, that goes a long way with the chemistry. You don't really know if you're going to have chemistry with somebody until you're there. So I think both of us were like, phew, okay, great. This is going to be fun. It just helps that you know you're going to work every day with somebody that has your back and loves you. Well, if only they had that same feeling and energy on Fan 4 Stick in 2015, because hot damn, it wasn't present there. Then again, that could be attributed to the fact that Josh Trank kind of acted like an asshole on that set, but hey, things change. Conversation in about 3 hours or so. Looking forward to it, my man. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. He said it's fantastic. Say that again. Get it, guys. I have a name of God. That movie was so awful. Fantastic Four 2015 was the most disappointing movies ever. First half was good, but the other half of Fantastic Four 2015 was dog shit. Mysterious Gorge, you say? Yeah, apparently the Gorge is really good. A couple friends of mine have told me like it's really good. Like it's super fucking good. So I don't know. I'm gonna watch it at some point. When I get Apple, maybe. But obviously, Miles Teller being a fan of Pedro, and subsequently, I'm sure everyone else on that cast, like just offering his support and love. Love to see it. Love to see it. You also, you get that same kind of deal with every actor who's played Batman cheering on the new guy playing Batman. It just kind of goes hand in hand most of the time. But yeah, Fan 4 Stick, I remember not at all going to see that movie, not only because of the horrendous reviews, but because of like Josh Trank's like super fit he had on Twitter when 2015? So years ago, 10 years ago, when I was still active on Twitter, the young doofus that I was. Yeah, seeing his tweet of like, this was not the movie I made. You guys would have seen a really great Fantastic Four film, and like all the shit that came out after that, and even like his emails to like the cast, like, we made a really good movie, and then someone was like, no, we didn't. What a shame! Like, what an absolute fucking shame that in a business that's basically built on collaboration and creativity, you got one guy going, no, it's got to be my way. It's got to be this way. We're gonna do things this way. Like, apparently he turned down almost every single script Jeremy Slater turned in, but apparently would also go to the studio with certain pages of Jeremy Slater's scripts and not even bother giving Jeremy Slater the full feedback that the studio gave him. It's just like, dude, how big is your ego? Oh my God. Like, number one, how do you get away with having conversations like that with the studio without your writer present? How do you not use some of the script pages that he gives you in these conversations? Number three, like, why are you declining everything the guy says because he's read the fucking comic books? Like, you guys had a real opportunity here to reboot the Fantastic Four, make them younger, let them grow into these roles, homage Ultimates a little bit, and like, kind of kickstart a dormant franchise, but you just kind of dropped the fucking ball really hard. And then you turn around and went, wah, they fucked my movie. Wah, they fucking put a leash on me. It's like, well, yeah, dude, because you're acting like a douchebag. I got nothing for that. I'm just like, this is probably what the Fox executives looked like after they saw Josh Trank's cut of Fantastic Four. That's my guess. Just a guess, just an educated guess. I don't know. Can't say for sure. Definitely a disaster of a movie. But hey, if Miles Teller comes back as like the maker, as like a part of the Council of Reeds or something, and gets that redemption, more power to him. I would love to see that. God damn it, I hate when bots follow me on the socials. That's just not fun. Anyway. speaking of things in pre-production, post-production, entering production, blah 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 blah. Godzilla -1 follows the follow-up enters pre-production. Check this shit out, guys. Saw this and this made me superbly happy. Let's snap at this. Yes. Such good news. Such good news. Okay, check this shit out. Let's check this shit out. This is gonna be a lot of fun. All right, Godzilla -1 director Takashi Yamazaki. Here's VFX pros weigh in on AI at VS Awards. Let's see. Takashi Yamazaki, the Oscar-winning writer, director, and VFX supervisor on Godzilla -1, was among the honorees who shared their views of AI at the Visual Effects Society Awards on Tuesday. The filmmaker who accepted the Society's Visionary Award, also confirmed that he's currently working on the screenplay and storyboards for the new Godzilla movie. Last year's VFX Oscar winner Godzilla -1 was made for under $15 million, and he added that he expects to have a more budget this time around from Toho, though he didn't have an exact figure. Speaking with a translator, he was one of several honorees who talked about the potential of AI at the event. Quote, "It's very capable assistant or tool as it stands right now, but it is not at the point where it can kind of take center stage and generate what humans can. Right now, it's not in any of our pipelines because of that reason, but the speed at which AI evolves is just so immense that where it goes from here remains to be seen." The filmmaker predicts he will later adopt the tech. Until recently, I've been shooting on film and I like to use miniatures. So I know that someday we're going to have to embrace any kind of work with AI, and I'm probably going to be one of the later ones because I do like working with older technology and techniques. And honestly, that's pretty pertinent and really useful for the craft, in my humble opinion. Numerous and notable users of AI this year in the visual effects world. In fact, during the event, the VES Emerging Technology and Award went to AI startup Metaphysics neural performance toolset as used by artists to age and de-age Tom Hanks and Robin Wright, and Robert Zemeckis is here. That was a movie that I wanted to see but didn't see because it takes place in just one frame and you literally just see time pass through this entire single frame. Novel idea, not really sure it'll work for a big budget movie though. Backstage, Zemeckis' longtime VFX supervisor Kevin Bailey was asked about the news of the Motion Picture Academy exploring a new rule that would make it mandatory to disclosure AI used in Oscar subs, which Variety Report first reported on last week. Okay, I think other than that, the only real thing that come from Godzilla -1 was the fact that the director, that's really what I wanted to really touch on, was the fact that Godzilla -1, the follow-up is, it's the screenplay is being worked on, storyboards for the movie, as well as storyboards for the follow-up. And then Toho obviously allowing a much larger budget. I mean, if I was Toho and I made a Godzilla movie for under $15 million and it looked like that, yeah, I would kind of amp the budget up a little bit. I'm not sure you give him like a substantial increase because obviously he's got a very specific way of working with things. But yeah, like I like Godzilla -1 a lot. That was definitely like one of my favorite films of 2023. Was definitely worth the theater trip to, for sure. Wow, you guys are just having a ball talking about Fantastic Four, aren't you? Let's see. Godzilla -1 was fan-fucking-tastic. Yes, it was. Saw the Superman trailer in IMAX today before New World. That hit different. -1 is top film of the decade. I wouldn't call it top film of the decade. I would probably say easily just one of the best films in a long time. One of the best Godzilla movies in a long time, for sure. Oh, my God. But that looked really good. I am very eager and curious to see what a sequel to Godzilla -1 looks like. I am going to just like put a muzzle on my dogs because they are really making it hard to focus right now. Oh my God. Yeah, that looks really dope. I can't wait to see what the sequel looks like for that, what the follow-up will look like for that, for sure. I mean, if Godzilla looks anything like he did from -1, sign me up. Maybe they'll do like the whole purple energy Godzilla thing like they did in Shin Godzilla. I don't know. Not really sure. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Good on them barking for now. Got my package. That came. That's exactly why they were barking this time. But I get this dude. Oh, look at that. Pen and connector set for automobiles. Been fiddling with my cards and having some issues lately, but this will be a lifesaver and game changer. I cannot wait to start putting my own connectors. You guys didn't know I'm kind of your head. Kind of. Anyway. Yeah, Godzilla -1. Follow-up. Pre-production. Being written. Storyboarded. Cool beans. Looking forward to it. Quite a bit. Quite a fair bit. What else I'm looking forward to? Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 2. That's right. We got some marketing for Mortal Kombat 2 that kicked off earlier this week. Make sure I shared it. I'll pull up the poster. There's two posters. There's one of the actual logo, and then there's also one of Johnny Cage. Let's see. Now, here's the actual poster from Mr. Ed Boon himself. Where's the tab? Sent. Share screen. All right. So there is a poster for the film, which I would imagine is probably going to be showing up in theaters. It's probably definitely going to be this. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 2. And it says coming soon with a C, but then obviously Ed Boon crossed it out with a K. That's just pretty nifty. I mean, it looks like the dragon from the first one. It's just kind of silvery and gray this time around, not gold, which is cool. Johnny Cage is in it, played by Carl Urban. We're going to see Shao Kahn show up. Not really sure who else is going to be there. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped for this. I just don't think we're getting a trailer for it anytime soon. I think that'll come in the later months if I were a betting man for sure. Anyway, there was another trailer too, or another trailer. There was another piece. There it is, right there. Here we go. This was cool. Uncaged Fury. It's clearly a fake poster. We might see it in the movie for one of Johnny Cage's flicks. But that is, I would imagine, something of a first look at Carl Urban playing the titular ball breaker, Mr. Johnny Cage. I'm down for this. This is going to be pretty cool. I like Carl Urban. I like Johnny Cage. He's one of my favorite characters in Mortal Kombat simply because he could just fucking nut tap anyone. That was pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. God, my nose is all fucking today is just not in my favor. Ugh. But yeah, soft launch for the marketing for Mortal Kombat. That was cool. Speaking of launching and speaking of talking about films, we got Batman Part 2 updates from Mr. Andy Serkis and Robert Pattinson. Yeah, I know, I sneeze loud. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. All right. This was from an interview with Collider, I believe. Oh, no, during a recent interview with Screen Rant. I just pulled the article from Collider. Andy Serkis, who portrays Alfred, gave an optimistic update sharing he recently connected with his director, i.e. Matt Reeves, for progress on the project. Quote, I know there's a huge appetite, and boy, I am as hungry for it as you all are. I talked to Matt recently because I was doing pressing with him about the Penguin. I interviewed him. He told me the story of the Batman Part 2, and I'm so excited for it. Well, at least there's a story and a script, right? right? That's going to be... Oh, Mumbwat said Quan Chi will also be a villain for Mortal Kombat 2. You're right. I did read about that. But, yeah, there we have it. There's a story in place for Matt Reeves' Batman Part 2. And apparently it starts shooting next at the end of the year, according to Mr. Rob Pattinson. I'm not watching that on X. I'm definitely not watching that on X.
Yes.
Keep hearing 2026. Are you doing more shooting on it or what?
We haven't shot it yet.
Oh, you haven't shot it. When do you start shooting it?
I think end of the year.
End of the year.
I see. I thought it. I thought you shot some stuff that was interrupted.
No. That was the first one.
God.
I know. Everything feels so long ago because of COVID just erased 3 years.
Right at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give us a sense of the storyline?
Not yet. It's cool though. It's cool.
When do we?
So we start shooting at the end of the year. Storyline is cool. Cool, you say? Like Freeze cool? Mr. Freeze? Fucking hope so. I hope it's Mr. Freeze. I really fucking hope it's Mr. Freeze. I don't want Hush. I don't want fucking Clayface. I don't want any of that shit. I want Mr. Freeze. I want the villain for Batman Part 2 to be Mr. Freeze. If you do Hush, it's going to be way too close to the Riddler. If you do Clayface, it's, again, we're kind of stepping into like more serial killer territory. Like, no. I want it to be Mr. Freeze. Matt Reeves, use Mr. Freeze. Here's my wallet. Take all my fucking money, man. Like, just please, for the love of God, use Mr. Freeze. Let Mr. Freeze be the villain of the Batman Part 2. Please. Please. Mr. Freeze is one of my favorite villains. I even have a Batman wallet. Come on, Matt Reeves. Come on, man. Please. Mr. Freeze, please. Mr. Freeze. Would kill to have Mr. Freeze be the villain of the Batman Part 2. Like, come on, surprise the fuck out of us. Please let it be Mr. Freeze. That's really who I want it to be. Mr. Freeze. And I hope it is. I mean, if they're going to shoot like at the end of the year, that means they're like maybe shooting in a wintry setting because Gotham is supposed to be shot in like, you know, wintry time after the Penguin. We're picking up right after the Penguin too, so that's like winter, like Christmas, New Year's-ish. Mr. Freeze, please, just give me Mr. Freeze. That's all I'm asking for. Anything outside of Mr. Freeze would be cherry on top. But for the love of Christ, Mr. Freeze, please, Matt Reeves. Mr. Freeze, please, Matt Reeves. There we go. There's your rhyme. There's your new hashtag. You guys want to start a cool hashtag campaign? Mr. Freeze, please, Matt Reeves. There you go. Heard it here. There we are. Yeah. Yes. I will own that. I form that hashtag on this show. Mr. Freeze, please, Matt Reeves. That's what I want. Mr. Freeze for the Batman Part 2. That's it. That's it. That's all I want. I want Mr. Freeze. I want Mr. Freeze. All right, I'm let's move on to another Batman villain, okay? So there is a Clayface movie in the works in the DC universe under one James Gunn and Peter Safran, written by one Mike Flanagan, but they are on the hunt for a director currently. And here is the piece from the Heat Vision blog that kind of bumped this into conversation. You guys can't even see it, so I'll just read it here. Okay. DC Studios has apparently been looking for a Clayface director since late last year. The company was even eyeing J.A. Bayona over the Christmas break. I actually wouldn't mind that. Trail went cold after that, but on Thursday, our, in this case, not so distinguished competition mentioned that Jeff Wadlow. Oh, wow, they really just threw a dig at Jeff Snyder with that, didn't they? On Thursday, our, in this case, not so distinguished competition mentioned that Jeff Wadlow and James Watkins are in the mix for the gig. Well, our sources say that Wadlow is not in the mix, never was, and never will be. Watkins hasn't even met with DC heads honcho yet, but is expected to. This one is still up for grabs. Mike Flanagan, who wrote the script, will be unavailable because of his commitments to a Carrie TV series and a reboot of The Exorcist. To us, the biggest question is, where will DC shoot this movie? The company has a production hub in England where it shot Superman and is shooting Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. That's not entirely true. Superman shot in Europe, it shot in Cleveland, and if I'm not mistaken, it also shot in Georgia. I could be wrong about Georgia, but I know for damn sure it shot in Cleveland. I know for damn sure they shot in Svalbard. Did they shoot in England, though? I don't recall. Supergirl, on the other hand, they absolutely are shooting in England. Clayface, however, isn't eyed to shoot there, although it could say if DC hires a British director. Yeah, possibly. The feature is a modest $40 million, and sources say that a project is looking to set up shop in a variety of locales: Vancouver, Toronto, New Jersey, or Atlanta. To which we say, fiddlesticks. Clayface, you see, is a Hollywood horror story, according to our sources, using the most popular incarnation of the villain, a B-movie actor who injects himself with the substance to keep himself relevant, only to find out that he can reshape his face and form, becoming a walking piece of clay. Why should a Hollywood story be shot in anywhere but LA? Why fake LA? In Atlanta, we would love to have DC make the brave and bold decision, I see what you did there, to bring this production where it belongs. People are giving lip service about bringing production back to the city and to California. Here's an opportunity to actually back up those lofty slogans. Hashtag stay in LA. Well, for starters, oh, Chris, you have to love when that Sny guy gets slapped down, but you know he will try and backpedal, but we know the truth. Well, you know, anytime Jeff Snyder opens his mouth,
maybe the problem is the fuck puppet delivering. Oh, yeah.
The problem is always the fuck puppet delivering the news. In this case, Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder probably looking at this piece from the Hollywood Reporter and probably went, God damn it! Well, Jeff, considering you've gotten pretty much everything wrong about DC that you've tried to report on, hell, I wouldn't even call it reporting because you're not really a reporter, maybe it's just time to pack it in, buddy. Stick to the Marvel and Disney stuff. Someone over there feels bad enough for you to where they're giving you information. Just stick to that. Your credibility might shape up better for it, but considering it's already in the can and Hollywood Reporter took a shot at you, doesn't really seem to be the case, does it? Maybe also while you're at it, maybe, just maybe, update your profile picture on social media. You don't look 25 anymore. You're about double that age, you're balding, your hair is white, and, well, to be frank, you look like a fucking rat, bud. But hey, you know, at least I'm not desperate enough to boot up my Twitter account, because I don't have one anymore, number one. Number two, I deactivated it. Number three, I'm not desperate enough to boot up my Twitter account and be like, hey, ladies, look at me. I'm single. Who in the LA area wants to date a reporter, huh? Fucking clown shoes. That guy is fucking clown shoes. Anyway, Clayface directors. Okay, well, J.A. Bayona would have been a fun one. I know Homeboy gets a lot of flack for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but in my opinion, that one might actually be the best one of the bunch. Because it's different. It's mean, it's gnarly, it's horrific, it's got kind of a wax museum-ish feel to it. Granted, the bit about a girl with dinosaur DNA is a little much, but hey, you know, the script was Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly, and well, we saw their whole trilogy of what they wrote out, and it just, well, yeah. But from a visual standpoint, J.A. Bayona would have been a fun one. I'm curious to know why he probably turned it down. That would have been fun to watch J.A. Bayona make a Clayface movie. But James Watkins, Speak No Evil. I still need to watch Speak No Evil. That'd be fun, I'm sure. Jeff Wadlow, once upon a time, I think, was supposed to do an X-Force movie. But the search for the Clayface director continues. According to Peter Safran, this film is supposed to be akin to DC's version of The Fly. And I'm like, well, I don't really know how you achieve something like that in a budget of $40 million, but hey, I saw a Godzilla movie made for $15 million, and it looked amazing. So, it's about how you use it. It's all about how you use it, how crafty you are, how creative you are. My guy, I saw where this source was sourced from, and we literally not even 5 minutes ago just got done clowning on said source. Buddy, please do yourself a favor. Look at who is sourcing this information and then have the questionability to say, can I take this to the bank or should I take it with a grain of salt? In this case, fuck the salt. Jeff Snyder was not right about the fucking Clayface directors. What the fuck makes you think he's right about James Gunn planning a Superman sequel? I don't think James Gunn's planning a Superman sequel. He's talked about how miserable it was in a good way of making this one. James Gunn also notoriously doesn't do, or rather, he doesn't plan ahead of like, yeah, I'm going to do a trilogy or whatever. That's not just not how he fucking works, man. Like, he waits for the film to release, and then if he had an idea while he was doing the first one, he kind of maybe toils and percolates that idea and fucks with the script until he comes up with a second part. It's just how Homeboy works. Substance had a budget of $19 million. I'm sure it did. I haven't seen the movie yet, but apparently it's really fucking good. So, yeah, probably. Wouldn't doubt it. Anyway, speaking of rumors. Coleman Domingo opens up about the Kang rumors. Playing Kang Conqueror. This one was fun. Where is it? Where the fuck? There we go. This came as a piece from Variety. There we go. And I'm just going to briefly touch on this before we move into the Captain America talk. All right. Coleman Domingo did, in fact, meet with Marvel Studios, obviously, because he's playing Norman Osborn in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And in regards to the Kang rumors, when it was constantly in the press on places like Twitter, I was like, wait a minute, is this true? Am I being talked for Kang? Domingo told the Happy, Sad, Confused host Josh Horowitz, quote, I literally called up my team and said, are you guys having conversations that I have no idea about? And they said, no. Are you guys being cagey or what? They weren't. Quote, there had been conversations of me coming into Marvel in some way. So we did a follow-up with a sit-down meeting with the heads of Marvel. I did do that. We talked openly about the landscape of Marvel and the Kang rumors. I am all about energy. I want to do things that make sense and bring gentle energy. I want a role to be mine, whatever I develop. Something didn't feel right about me replacing someone. I want to build something from the ground up that is my own. Domingo stressed that the Kang rumors were never a conversation from my point of view. I want to build something from the ground up, so there still are talks. Ultimately decided not to recast Kang, to overhaul their plans and introduce Doctor Doom as the new Thanos-like villain for the Avengers to face off against. Majors told TMZ shortly that after Downey's casting as Doom was announced, he was heartbroken over the decision. Yeah, well, tough shit, man. You probably shouldn't jeopardize your credibility there or your career doing what you did. But clearly, Coleman Domingo took it upon himself to sit down with Marvel and be like, hey, I don't really want to be Kang. That's cool, but that wouldn't feel right, which is why he's playing fucking Norman Osborn, which I think is cool. I think he's doing a great job in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. But for the record, by the way, the last 3 episodes that released this week were great. Animation still looks not great, but the story continues to just be aces, absolute aces. And this guy, Coleman Domingo, just playing it up as Norman Osborn, just having the fucking time of his life. Oh my God. Holy shit. What an absolute W for Coleman Domingo to play this role. And his Norman is just so different than the Norman we've seen in the past, where he's just like this, agitated business mogul who's just, Spider-Man. No, he's actually working with Spider-Man this time around, but you can also see like the cracks in the foundation beginning to form with this relationship a little bit. I think the movie James Gunn is pre-writing is The Authority. I would not be shocked if the movie James Gunn was pre-writing in his head would 100% be The Authority. I'm hoping that he plays Norman Osborn because he does a fantastic job as Norman in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I agree. In the event that we see like Spider-Man 4 become like a Battle World movie and you really wanted to fuck some shit up, and by fuck some shit up, I mean like fuck some timelines up and meld some shit together, especially if it takes place after Doomsday. And I'd imagine Doctor Doom inevitably takes over the multiverse and like crashes it all into one, making one world under Doom. And like, it's all Battle World. It's Doom, God Emperor Doom, right? And like this new New York City is like all sorts of whacked out and crazy. Instead of Avengers Tower, you see Oscorp and it's Coleman Domingo as Norman Osborn. Like that would be fucking slick. I think that would be dope as shit. Yeah, the animation is like the biggest pitfall for me. I can't really get behind the animation. Like the art style itself is very Steve Ditko, but the animation really needs like a do-over. Like I can't get behind what they're doing with this shit. It's very stiff, it's very slow. God damn it, why is my nose so itchy today? Yeah, man, I cannot get behind the fucking animation of this show. It's just not good. Like it's inventive and I get it, but at the same time it just really makes me like, it gives me almost Invincible level lazy vibes. Like they could have done a couple more passes and made it feel more fluid, and it just doesn't feel fluid at all. It's just very stiff. Like it's almost like they're trying to emulate a little bit of Ang Lee of bringing a comic book to life with certain panels and certain edits and certain cutaways, and I'm just like, yeah, that's great, but the animation itself just looks not great. Like it's not good. I don't know what it is, but it's just not good. Yeah, Braden, you're right. I think they should have done something they should have done something very distinct. And I think this is why these Spider-Verse films are much stronger, because they even the most recent one, Across the Spider-Verse, they went out of their way to have every different universe have a different animated style. And I'm like, yes, this is it. This is what makes Spider-Man so versatile in certain respects, because not only are there so many different versions, but there's just so many different artists who have worked on the character over the years with so many distinct visual styles, but still inherently spiritually core to this character and just feels faithful. And like, I just look at this show and I'm like, yeah, you guys got the vibe of Steve Ditko, but man, you guys have like the stiffness and sloppiness of the 2003 show with Neil Patrick Harris. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? You know what? Speaking of what are we doing here, so let's get to the main thing. Okay, I might go a little over an hour today, but Captain America: Brave New World spoiler discussion. Now I have my review of this posted on my channel. If you guys want to go see my spoiler-free-ish thoughts on that, go check that out. But I open the floor up to you, my cohorts, my concierge, my followers, my supporters. What do you want to discuss about Captain America: Brave New World? Because the reception to this movie is so polarizing, it's not even funny. Like, it has a 50-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't really give a shit. But it also has like an 80% from the audience, which I think matters more. So clearly there's some kind of disconnect going on here, where you have half the critics who fucking hate it, 80% of the audiences who have seen it liked it. And I'm just like, what's the... What are we... Where's the disconnect coming from? Like, where exactly is all of the discourse coming from? Mumboy, I know you haven't seen the movie yet, so if you want to bow out now, I totally don't blame you. But we are now going to discuss this film in spoilerific fashion. So this is your spoiler warning. But seriously, like, I've seen that it's doing pretty well. It got 12 million its Thursday showing openings for preview night. It did well, and I attended a Thursday showing. Like, I got into my theater at 3:30. My showing started at 3:30. Well, the movie started at 4, but yeah, like, I watched it. I had a good time. Like, yeah, it's not a perfect movie, not by any stretch of the imagination, but like, it was just jarring to me to see so much just like bile and vitriol and fucking just people hating on this movie. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know what movie you watched, but I don't think we watched the same fucking movie. All right, Dalton's got a point, though. One of the things I did not like was the leader's design, the look of the leader. And this actually just occurred to me today. So here's the thing about the leader, right? Let's pull up a picture of the leader. Let's see what the leader looks like in the comics. Okay, that's got to be from like Ultimates or something, but holy shit. Like, this is so wild to me. With the direction they went with this was just insanity. Okay, finally got a good image. Oh, Sorry, wrong one. Share screen. Here we go. Seriously, like, what is... Why was this so hard to try and capture? Like, granted, there are other images of the leader as he looks closer to what they did in the film, where he's got, you know, brain showing in the back, but like, I don't understand why this was so hard to do. Like, you could have just given him kind of like a headpiece and given him some hair, and like, still had Tim Blake Nelson's face, and it was just like, what are we doing? Like, and they even went so far as to like overcomplicate his powers, because he's all about mind control and a little bit of telekinesis, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just like, I don't really understand like why they had to like overcomplicate the fuck out of his power set. It was really strange to me that they did that. Especially given, like, you know, what happened with the Incredible Hulk, the movie. They had the Abomination show up. Didn't look a damn thing like the Abomination. It looked more like, you know, a cave troll from Lord of the Rings. Then you cut to Shang-Chi, and you show a comic book accurate fucking Abomination. And he also comes back in She-Hulk, too, and he looks great. And I look at what they did with the leader in Captain America Brave New World, I'm like, why are the Hulk villains just getting the shaft? Like, come on, man. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I really don't get it. Not one bit. Not one bit. Not one bit. Donovan says it was good, not great, but good. Yeah, I agree. It wasn't the greatest Marvel film ever made. Definitely not the worst, though. Not the disaster people were hoping. Right, exactly. And according to Julia Ona, the director, like this movie didn't have multiple rounds of reshoots. Matter of fact, I would even go as far as to say the stuff with Giancarlo Esposito, that actually would fall into the category of additional photography more than anything. Not a reshoot, but additional photography. Braden says, I give the film an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this film. I do have some complaints, like the jokes. I think they should remove those, but I also think the villains are really good villains. Okay, I can understand that. I think utilizing Red Hulk and Sidewinder was really good, and I even think to an extent what the leader was trying to accomplish, yeah, it worked to a degree, but I still just, again, like my biggest hang up is with him visually, personally. But I will also agree with you that like the jokes, there might have been one or two too many. There's even a moment in the beginning of the movie with Falcon where he like does some goofy fucking dance or something. And I was like, okay, we didn't need to do this. We definitely did not need to do that. That was certainly a choice. Little Movie Perp says, disconnect comes with what people are getting out of the film. I think as a movie on its own, it's a mess. The story was very detached from Sam. Isaiah was only link story that came from Eternals and Hulk. Well, no. Here's the thing, though. It's connected to Sam in the way that Sam is a government employee, more or less, because Sam Wilson was a paramedic in the United States military. So, by pure military association, he's got that rapport with people in the military, i.e., Thunderbolt Ross, and that would also it subsequently include people like Isaiah, who is a product of the super soldier experiment. They're all intrinsically tied together. And I think that's something that kind of goes over a lot of people's heads, because Bruce Banner was initially developing and working with gamma radiation to try and recreate the super soldier serum. So in a way, they are tangentially connected. And I even said this in my review. If you want to test a Captain America without a super soldier serum inside him, if you want to give him a worthy physical fight, then yeah, having him go up against a Hulk makes sense on paper. And even to a degree, I think it even worked in the film. That said, I also think that they really overcomplicated the leader's powers. They didn't have to do this whole, like, phone flash, hear a fucking musical cue, and then these people are mind controlled. No, he literally just has the power to mind control people with his brain in the comics. What the fuck? Like, you have a universe where you have Scarlet Witch, who can literally manipulate reality with her powers. You had Thanos drive his finger into Thor's head, right? Like, you also had like Loki messing with people's minds. So it to me, like, they really went out of their way to overcomplicate the leader's powers for no good reason at all, other than to just try and ground it in a way. And I just don't think it worked. It did not do them any favors of trying to ground the leader in a realistic way. And it really just doesn't work for me. But then again, that's nitpicking on a comic book level. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I didn't like it because, again, I have that knowledge from the comics of, like, I know how this character operates there. We've seen tried and true adaptations of characters from Marvel Comics in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it just kind of boggles my mind that they would overcomplicate and overthink, no pun intended, how the leader would operate. And it's like, come on. And then you like, what was going on with his eyes? He had like one green eye and then one red eye. I was like, what? Why? This is weird. Yeah, the promo picture did look better. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with this. The political aspects weren't presented well either. You don't feel the impact when two presidents are discussing a huge treaty. The dialogue feels ready-made for dubbing and subs. What? I mean, they're having a discussion and a treaty over a brand new resource. I don't really know what you really wanted out of that, but hey, you know, you do you, my guy. Someone at Marvel hates the Hulk. No, I don't think it's that. I think it's just a swing and a miss, you know? Like look at what they did with Gore the God Butcher in Love and Thunder. Like, there's concept art of him running around of like actually looking like Gore the God Butcher from the Jason Aaron run of Marvel Comics. And then they scrapped it in favor of, like, you know, a toga bald Christian Bale. You know, there's also the Mandarin, Iron Man 3. That fucking... Then, you know, Shang-Chi made up for it. There was that. My bro Ronan's in the house. What's up, my guy? Yeah, I think they should have just given him the power of mind control. Right, exactly. They very well could have just given him the power of mind control, telepathy, and it would have gone over a much bigger way. And again, like, these characters, again, are all tied through the way of the government. I will also say, though, the reasoning they gave for not having him show up for 16 years made sense within the confines of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thaddeus Ross would 100% keep the leader in an underground lab for his own good and his own gain, just so he could get what he wants. That makes sense. That 100% makes sense. And I like that they explained it in a way that didn't feel cheap. And it wasn't just a really shitty write-off. No, it made sense. It made sense that you would house this mega mind, no pun intended, kind of intended, being who is just there for the sole purpose of just having these fucking thoughts, these rampant thoughts all the time. Braden says, I actually liked Iron Man 3. Telepathy would have needed a huge rewrite on how Ross would have worked with someone that can mind control. No, because there's inhibitors and mind dampeners in the comics too. You like, dude, like, you don't need to hugely rewrite this movie for it to make sense. Like, there could have been reasons for it to make a little bit more sense to have his telepathy work. I hope the Hulk rights revert to Marvel soon. I don't even think it's about that. Like, I think it's like, I've seen swirls for like the last year or two that Marvel has regained the distribution rights for the Incredible Hulk. And I'm like, well, if that were the case, why haven't they done a Hulk project then? Want to know why? Probably because they haven't gotten the distribution rights back from Universal. I don't think Universal is giving them up anytime soon. I think, honestly, they're just being kind of petty about it. I predict before Secret Wars, Marvel Studios finally gets the Hulk rights. I mean, I don't know, man. I think with the way the Hulk has been done, and I actually just did another deep dive on this with the Bullets and Blockbusters YouTube channel. I really like their stuff. They do kind of a deep dive on stuff of like what could have been, might have happened. Like they did one on the Incredible Hulk. Apparently there was a movie that almost happened in the 90s where the Hulk was fighting like giant insectoid creatures. And then, you know, they got the Ang Lee movie, and then we got the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton, and now we have the Hulk where he is today in the MCU. I'm just like, I don't know. I think Marvel tries to find ways to use the Hulk without doing a Hulk movie, which in a way I understand, because the last two Incredible Hulk films, you know, the Hulk and the Incredible Hulk, like, they didn't, you know, do gangbusters, even though the Incredible Hulk is a really well-made movie and a really impactful one and a very, you know, important cog in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I just think that they really need to, I don't know. I don't know what you do. That's the tricky part about the Hulk. I think that this was definitely like a trial run again of like, what can we do with the Hulk that doesn't involve him in his own movie? Or what can we do with elements from Hulk comics that don't involve him in his own movie? Like, I genuinely think that they just experiment a lot with the Hulk as secondary characters in a few of these Marvel projects. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What do you think Sam learned in this movie that he didn't in the show? I felt we were repeating arcs. It was the same. It's not the serum that Captain... No, that's not it at all. Like, and that's a criticism I don't agree with, that he just repeated this whole, oh, I don't need the serum, what am I doing? Like, no, that's bullshit. That was taken care of with one conversation with one person, and it worked in that moment because the person came there to remind him, like, no, dude, you were chosen for this reason. That wasn't the overarching fucking story of the movie, unlike Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I think a lot of people are acting like that is, and it's not. No, the point of Sam Wilson in this story was like being Cap and having to deal with a point of authority. Like, he dealt with fucking Thunderbolt Ross. Like, this is being the stakes of what comes with the I wouldn't say consequences, but what comes with bearing the mantle of Captain America. Because Falcon and Winter Soldier was taking up the mantle. Now the movie is him, the means that come with the mantle, not necessarily the consequences, but the, you know, the ins and outs of the day job, like the tough job, and possibly having to answer to Thunderbolt Ross. And this is talked about between him and Isaiah in the very beginning of the movie. Isaiah's like, dude, what are you doing? And to Sam's credit, he was like, look, Thunderbolt Ross done fucked up, broke up the Avengers, and had my ass sitting in the fucking raft. But if me being Captain America means I am willing to work with everyone, that means him, especially if he's president. It's about being the better person and being the right guy for the job. That's why Steve chose him at the end of Endgame. And the fact that, like, he does some Captain America shit once Isaiah Bradley gets framed for the potential assassination of the President of the United States. Fuck yeah. That's some shit Captain America would do. And also that idea of, like, being presented to him by Ross, like, yeah, I want you to reform the Avengers. And Sam's just like, whoa, wait, what? Hold on. You broke the Avengers up because of the Sokovia Accords. Now you want to, like, run point with the Avengers? What? He's like, well, what happens when we disagree on a situation? And then that's the whole crux of the movie. That exact thing happens in that moment when Isaiah Bradley gets framed for the attempted assassination of Thaddeus Ross. They disagree on what happened, and Sam goes out of his way to prove that it was not Isaiah Bradley doing it of his own volition because of past transgressions with the government. And that's where I think the movie is actually quite strong, is because we see Sam acting as Captain America. He's actually embraced the role that he turned down the first time in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but now he sees what it takes to be the better person and why he is the right guy for the job and why he doesn't need the fucking serum. Yeah, he maybe needed a little reinforcement from someone after someone gets hurt, but here's the thing. That's part of the fucking job, dude. That's part of the job in the military. Like, your friends are going to get fucking hurt. You might watch people die. It sucks, but yeah, it's going to fucking happen. And it did happen. Like, he watched Joaquin get shot down when they were fucking flying over Celestial Island, dude. Carp in the comics, Ross is an asshole, not just to the Hulk, but the whole superhero community. When he became the Red Hulk later on, the Avengers were need to like watch this guy for sure. Respectfully, don't agree. I think the beginning of the movie felt like it was about Captain America taking on responsibility of his country's past, not explored. IMO. It's replaced with Isaiah. All right. I don't care about the comics. I'm judging the movies on their own, not their source material. But the problem is it's adapted from the source material. So make of that what you will. Either way, when it comes to this movie, like I had one problem. It was the leader. Like I really did not like the way he looked, and I thought they overcomplicated his powers. I don't think the score is exactly memorable either. I think the score is very much like it's just kind of there. And I think not having Henry Jackman back to score the movie, I'm not sure if he was busy. I'm not sure if he just didn't have any interest. I'm not sure if it was like, Juliana, who directed the film, had someone else in mind. Like, I'm not really sure what it was. I agree, Dalton. I 100% agree. Sam Wilson is Captain America. He was the perfect person for the fucking job. That's why Steve gave him the shield in the first place. Okay, so Sabra, played by Shira Haas, she was cool. She's very no nonsense, very much like a Black Widow stand-in, even though they kind of alter her origin from the comics to retrofit and be by way she actually is a Black Widow, a former Black Widow at that. So she's cool, but the Serpent Society itself doesn't have a lot of room to play in this movie. Sidewinder was a good villain, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I think Sidewinder, the whole bit with Giancarlo being brought in this movie, those are not reshoots. What actually those are is additional photography. Giancarlo's Sidewinder was not initially part of the principal photography shoot. They went back, looked at what they had. They go, okay, we need to kind of beef this up, add more to it. Thus, you bring in Giancarlo Esposito as Sidewinder, the head of the Serpent Society. Now, they do mention that he is part of the Serpent Society in the film, but the Serpent Society doesn't have a large part to play in the film because the backdrop is largely befallen upon the conflict between the leader, Ross. Obviously the plot centers around Isaiah and Cap. So I don't think they're kind of putting Seth Volker there for future installments. Like I don't think this is the last time we will see Seth Volker as in anything. Like by the end of the movie, he's still alive. Like they make that pretty fucking clear. There's a conversation that happens between him and Sam, I believe, in the second act going into the third act, and Sidewinder basically implicates that, yeah, I'm not done. Like you will see me again. So I do think that there is ample opportunity to explore a Captain America, a Sam Wilson Captain America versus Sidewinder in the Serpent Society somewhere down the line. Correct. Has been said Sidewinder will be in more projects, so we will get more comic book accurate version. I'm not even like hoping for the whole fucking like crazy helmet shit that he had in the comics. Like I don't really give a shit about that, because when you're doing something in like the political sphere and you make things like more military-esque and like, have it be more like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like more unified unit in a way, like how they did Hydra and how they did basically how they did Hydra, and Hydra was basically like kind of an offshoot, or basically kind of birthed the Serpent Society too. Like I just really liked a lot of this movie. I didn't really have a lot to hate. Like I know a lot of people like want to dump on it for one reason or another, but I'm just over here like, yeah, I liked what I liked. That could be because I liked Falcon Winter Soldier, and then I also liked The Incredible Hulk. So whatever the fuck they were going to do with this movie, I was pretty game for to begin with. I didn't have anything to worry about. I will say that there is actually quite a few shots that don't look great. Like you can tell, especially in the final fight with Sam and Red Hulk, like there is one shot that looks really bad. Like you can just tell it's Anthony Mackie behind a green screen, and it just doesn't look good at all. It needed a couple more passes. Like not sure what or why or how, but man, they They could have used another pass on that. But yeah, honestly, my biggest hangups are the way the leader looked, the way his powers were depicted, even though they weren't really powers. It was just like a hint and nod at his powers. Like, yeah, he used mind control, but not in the telepathic way, which I would have much preferred. Let's see. I think what it is, people just want the multiverse saga to be over so they can move on to the mutants. I agree. I think there's a case that Marvel is kind of even tired of it themselves. That's why they're trying to just nudge it along and get it out of the way so they can move on to the mutant saga. My idea for Cap 5 is Sam Wilson's Captain America versus, and see, that was the title for Captain America 3 before they revealed that it was Civil War. Like when they initially revealed it was Captain America Serpent Society. I think they can use that title again somewhere down the line and have Sam Wilson's Captain America be the one to tackle it. I think that's plausible. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. But as far as the future goes, there is a single post-credit scene in this movie, and it is between Sam and the leader. And there is a conversation had where the leader basically alludes to the fact that, like, yeah, you know, you can save this world all you want, but I've seen things. Because earlier in the movie, you know, the leader mentions, like, yeah, my mind has been fucking amped with gamma radiation, so I'm constantly thinking of, you know, other fucking possibilities of other things and whatnot. And he basically alludes to the idea, like, don't worry, your world's not the only one, and a bunch of shit is about to go down. Like, just wait, shit is coming. That's ultimately what the post-credit scene amounts to. It's basically the leader telling Sam, like, you may not want to forge the Avengers because Ross wants you to, but you may want to fucking do it because some shit's gonna come, bro. Like, you need to fucking figure some shit out. So I don't know that Captain America, Sam Wilson, will be the one to forge the Avengers. You could easily have it be Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Wong, Shang-Chi. Like, there are a number of other characters who can easily come together and form a version of the Avengers. Like, this is not a novel concept. I mean, you think about the way that they came together back in Avengers 1, they all just kind of congregated and ended up in the same place at once, because Thor went after Loki, and then Iron Man and Cap shortly followed suit. And then there was that initial shot of Cap, Thor, and Iron Man, and they have that three-way fight before they go back up into the helicarrier. There is ample opportunity for a character like Doctor Strange, Sam Wilson, and I would even say Captain Marvel to kind of like come together. Hell, even Thor. Like, you know, from what I understand, Chris Hemsworth was spotted in the UK. Avengers Doomsday is about to begin filming. What if the thing that brings the Avengers together is the death of another Avenger? That's just my guess. Like, what if Doctor Doom, after the events of Fantastic Four, makes his way to the MCU Prime timeline and sees all these massive heroes, and then he's met by fucking Thor some way, somehow, and says, oh, you're strong? That's cute. But dead. What if the thing that brings together the Avengers this time around is another death? I don't know. It'd be fun. We'll see what happens. But overall, like, again, I said this in my review, I give Captain America Brave New World 3.5 out of 5 stars. Not the worst film in the catalog, not the best film in the catalog, but, you know, it was fine. It wasn't great. I had fun with it. The action was good. Wasn't it quite on the same level as Winter Soldier, but it was good. But again, it didn't reach that bar. Some really shoddy editing and really shoddy effects in certain respects. And I'm also, again, I forgot to mention the whole nanotech helmet thing. Can we just stop? Can Marvel please just stop doing that? It's a very cheap and lazy effect, and I'm getting kind of tired of it. It was cool when Black Panther did it back in Civil War, or yeah, was it? No, it wasn't Civil War. It was Infinity War. When he did it in Infinity War, I was like, okay, this is cool. And then they just kept doing it with a bunch of other characters in subsequent projects, and I'm just like, okay, this is getting old. Can we just stop, please? I'd really like it if we could just stop with this. That'd be fabulous. Maybe they don't call the team the Avengers. Maybe they call it New Avengers. Yeah. I'd be fine with New Avengers. I'd be fine with fucking West Coast Avengers. I don't give a shit, man. Like, just call them. The movie's called Avengers Doomsday, so obviously there's going to be like some resurgence of the Avengers to some extent. Was it Black Panther, like the first Black Panther movie? Oh, right. Okay, you're right. Because I was thinking of Civil War where he like pushed a button, took his helmet off. You're right. In the first Black Panther movie, it was the whole nanotech helmet thing. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Dalton. I appreciate. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, hey, look, guys. My buddy Draven. He was the one who was hosting the Super Bowl watching Discord. Thanks to him. The Marvel's action was better. Hell, the show was more creative with the action. The action got better in the third act. The Hulk stuff especially was great. Yeah, I mean, the Hulk stuff and the fight with the White House, that was good. Like, that whole fight between Cap and Hulk in the White House was pretty stellar. Like that. I don't think the action in the Marvels was better, though. I disagree there. I think that was so-so. But yeah, you're right, Dalton. It was definitely Black Panther 1 in which the nanotech helmet thing happened. And I've just slowly, since like Endgame and beyond those, like anything past Endgame where they do the nanotech helmet, no matter who the fuck it is, I'm just like, okay, can we please just stop with this shit? Can we just go back to like the cowl coming off? Like, look at what Wolverine did. Look at what Deadpool Wolverine did. He just fucking pulled it over his head and it looked great. There was no nanotech. There was none of that shit. He just fucking pulled it over his head and it was the cowl. It was Wolverine. Fuck, I am sick and tired of the nanotech helmets. Just stop. Please, Marvel, stop. Like, okay, here's the thing that kind of broke for me the nanotech helmet usage was going out of your way to add the purple vibranium fucking hue around it. You could have just had the helmet just like Black Panther or like fucking Spider-Man. But no, you had to add the purple hue to let everyone know, yeah, it's vibranium. It's like, we know. But why give it a color grade? I just like, Anyway. I think that is where I'm going to put a pin in it. We've already gone close to a half hour over what I usually like to do. But hey, thanks for everyone who chimed in. It's been a fun conversation. I like talking Captain America. I like doing movie stuff like this. We might do this more often, for sure. Like, it makes sense for Tony and Wakanda and Black Panther to have nanotech. They're smart. 100%. Yes. I agree. The practical mask works so much better. And honestly, like, I was really happy to see Spider-Man go back to the cloth. That was fun at the end of No Way Home. That was cool. But yeah, you know, hey, Draven, Dalton, Braden, Movie Perp, Jeffrey, Donovan, Mombwat, Ronan. God, am I missing anybody? Braden, Iggy, Chris, Travis, all you guys. Like, hey, thank you everyone who stopped in. Dave, the Film Junkie, I appreciate you guys stopping in. Taladia, Malcolm, like everyone. Just thank you again for coming in and shooting the shit with me, keeping it civil. You know, we don't fucking, you know, we don't name call. We don't get all fucking butthurt and mad and shit at people here. We don't do that here. We don't do that here. No, fun conversation. We'll have to do this more when other movies come out. Maybe I'll do it after I see the next movie, or maybe we'll do it with Daredevil. I don't fucking know. We'll see for sure. But you know, do me that favor. You know, hit that like and subscribe button. Do that thing. Do the thing. Just, you know, do me that favor. Do the thing. Where is it? There we go. Just do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe button in case you already haven't. If you're just now tuning in, you haven't subscribed, please hit that button. Anyway, this is where I'm going to put a pin in it. I hope everyone has a beautiful Valentine's Day weekend. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend ahead of you. Take some time to yourself, relax, take it easy, eat some candy, enjoy time with your loved ones. But as I always like to say, dream big, fart loud, stay safe, take care, mucho love, yes indeedy. And yeah, that's about all I got, guys. Take care.